Starting off with the business session for today's meeting, there's just the one announcement on behalf of our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Pavni. 2 speech slots have been booked for next week, one by Toastmaster Latha and the other by Toastmaster Sachin. Other than this, all the other roles are open. If you're interested in taking up any roles, please contact Toastmaster Pavni for the same. That was the only announcement. With that, we can conclude the business session. Over to our sergeant.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and something that I didn't guess. I once read somewhere that the ideas that we laugh at the most are the ones worth taking a risk on. Fred Smith was an undergrad student at Yale University. One day he had an assignment, so he had to write this paper. He wrote this paper about an idea he had about an overnight delivery service that uses a centralized hub and spoke model. So what this means is that all the mail would be delivered to one central hub, and from there it would be distributed to smaller hubs that were connected to it. He submitted this paper, and when he got the evaluation back, he saw that his professor had given him a C because he thought that the idea was not feasible. But Fred didn't care. He started this business anyways in 1971. Now in the beginning, his business faced a lot of financial struggles. And at one point, they only had $5,000 left. And this was not enough for the business to fuel the delivery planes. So what did Fred decide to do? He went to Las Vegas and he went to a casino and he gambled all of the $5,000 he had left in his company. He ended up winning $27,000, and this was just enough to fund his company for one more week, which he used that time to secure more investors. Now, Fred Smith's company is none other than FedEx, one of the world's largest shipping businesses, which completely revolutionized the shipping industry forever. Now, Fred had 2 unconventional ideas. One, starting his business, which no one thought was feasible, and second, obviously gambling all the money away at Vegas. But these were 2 big unconventional ideas or risks that he took that paid off big time, which really goes to show how believing in ourselves and actually taking the risk can pay off in the long run. There is one such person in our club who has a lot of nice unconventional ideas for this club. He is an MCOM graduate from Jain University who is currently pursuing his US CPA. He is an avid gaming enthusiast, an avid quizzer, and he is very enthusiastic about sports like cricket, table tennis, and badminton. So please, with a huge round of applause, welcome our President Toastmaster Shivaprasad.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shreya, for that amazing introduction. Once again, good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and guests in the room. So we only have the one guest who's come here to deliver a special session today. We have Toastmaster Puneeth. So I request him to just stand up from wherever he is and tell us a bit about himself and how he came to know Toastmasters.
I'm Puneeth Surana. I am a member of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, where even mosquitoes don't have space. So I always look for other clubs where I can go and engage and get an audience's first point of view. And that's how I discovered Mekon, right around where I live. And it's, I think, my 4th or 5th meeting with all of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneeth. With that, let us move on to having the minutes of the previous meeting read out by our secretary, Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1292, which was held on 18th November 2024. The theme, where does the truth lie? Word of the week, veracity. The business session started at 6:23 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Shivaprasad. In the business session, the following points were addressed. President Toastmaster Shivaprasad Sharma, on behalf of Vice President Education Toastmaster Pavni, informed the club about the roles and slots which are booked and open for the meeting number 1293. Interested members were requested to contact her for the same. The regular meeting started at 6:25 p.m. Acting Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Chetan started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Shivaprasad Sharma. President Toastmaster Shivaprasad Sharma opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Apurva. Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Apurva spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers. Timer Toastmaster Chetan, our counter Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. The prepared speech had the following speakers. We had totally 2 speakers. Speaker number 1, Toastmaster Shubha, Project Level 1, attempting Level 1, Project 3, Evaluator DTM K Prabhakara. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Shivaprasad Talangi, attempting Level 3, Elective Project, Evaluator Toastmaster Shivaprasad Sharma. The table topic session was conducted by DTM and U Bhat, which had totally 7 speakers. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Latha, and the winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Shubha, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shivaprasad Sharma, Best Table Topic Speaker DTM K Prabhakara, Best Role Taker TAPG Toastmaster Chetan, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Apurva. The President closed the meeting at 8:18 p.m., which was followed by the national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latha. Are there any changes proposed to the minutes of the previous meeting?
No.
If not, I shall consider them as accepted and open meeting number 1293. Quick question. How many of you here are wearing a watch on your wrist? Okay, quite a few of you. Now, second question. Listen a bit more carefully. How many of you are wearing watches that do not have a battery inside of them? One person. Nice. Okay. Well, believe it or not, wristwatches, to start off, back in the early 20th century or the late 19th century, when they became a bit more mainstream and people started wearing them, never had batteries in them. Wristwatches were built in a fashion called mechanical watches, which meant the watch was powered by something called the mainspring, which had energy stored inside of it, and slowly the mainspring would release energy to the other parts, the gears of the watches, the gears, jewels, the plates, etc., and that would move your watch. And every few hours or maybe 80 or 70 hours later, your watch would run out of battery, run out of power, and you would have to wind your watch mechanically, and therefore it was known as mechanical watches. And there are a few instances of this, also called automatic watches, that automatically wind themselves. This is how watches were initially in the earlier days. And as most of you would know, they were produced predominantly in Switzerland, Germany, and a little bit here in Japan or USA, etc. And this is how traditional watchmakers in these countries took great pride in their art, because it was not easy to craft a mechanical watch. Given their price today, most of your luxury brands, your Rolex, your Omegas, are all mechanical watches, mostly. And then after the 2 world wars, watches became a bit more mainstream, but they were still expensive. General public would not wear them. And all of this would change in the decade 1960, when something different was done with these watches. A company called Seiko in Japan came up with the first ever quartz watch, which is probably what most of you are wearing today, except maybe Puneeth. And a quartz watch is simple. There's a quartz crystal inside of your watch, which tends to vibrate at a high frequency, and it vibrates because of the power that the battery gives to it. A quartz watch was an unconventional idea back in the day. Most people back then, your traditionalists, your conformists, would probably say this is not a real watch, this is a cheap toy. But a quartz watch was the real thing. It was cheap, it was easy to manufacture, and it was more accurate than your traditional mechanical watch. Truly a masterstroke in the world of watchmaking. The first quartz watch made by Seiko, the Astron, was extremely expensive. But thereafter, people realized it was very easy to manufacture. They were mass produced, and quartz watches were the hit, and everybody was wearing a watch. My fellow Toastmasters, this quartz watch hit created a crisis which was called the quartz crisis. So much so that these traditional mechanical brands based out of Switzerland started facing difficulty selling their own watches because somebody had the courage to do something unconventional and different, to not conform to the convention and the belief that this is what a watch is, everything else is a cheap toy. And later on, when the Swiss watch industry themselves adopted quartz watches, the industry revived again. And today, luxury watches have their own place, and your quartz watches too have their own place. Fellow Toastmasters, the unconventional idea that somebody might have can change the world in unimaginable ways. So the next time your friend sitting next to you gives you a crazy business idea, don't just dismiss it straight away saying that this doesn't matter. You might not know that might be the idea, the unconventional one that changes your life, because an idea at the end of the day can change your life, and who knows, maybe the world itself in the end. With that, I'll introduce a person who will take this meeting forward. She is a qualified Toastmaster. She is a marketing associate working at Aptweek with a background in electronics and communication engineering and an MBA in marketing and HR. In her free time, she enjoys reading fiction novels, listening to music, and binge watching a lot of shows on her favorite streaming platforms. And recently, she's also taken to spirituality. At Toastmasters, she's been Encore PR Chair 2022, having served as the Charter President of BMS MBA throughout Toastmasters, and also a past area director in District 121. Please give it up for Master of Ceremonies for today, Toastmaster Sindhushree.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva, for such a beautiful introduction. I must say the meeting started off on a very good note, right? Usually we speak on a lot of metaphorical terms, a very psychological belief, or something, a normal convention of a Mekon Toastmaster meeting. There's a lot of inspirational stories, a lot of motivational stories, something based on our personal experiences. So I thought, let me keep a theme which encourages people to share some story or something that they've read somewhere. So that's why I thought, let me keep the concept of the meeting as itself an unconventional one. So breaking the norm of the regular Toastmasters meeting. Every once in a while, everybody here sitting here will have an idea, right? Let's not go talk about big business organizations. Let's keep it simple to our everyday day-to-day lives. It could be breaking the norm of not making upma on Sundays. It could be breaking the norm of taking public transport once in a while when you're tired of taking your scooter or car every day. It could be the norm of not going on the same roads from office to home, home to office, and taking a different route. Sometimes these different routes that you take, or sometimes the different walk of paths that you do, actually inspires you. So since the theme itself is unconventional idea, I too did some research. I too read a little bit about some of the hospitality industry to understand. Let me also share a story before I go ahead and give you a piece of advice on what to do or how to get inspired. In 2008, there were two roommates who were living in San Francisco, and they could not pay the rent for their particular property. And they also noticed that there was a big design conference that was coming to the city, and the entire hotels were booked up. And the travelers who were visiting the city for the conference were not able to get a stay to just explore the world or just to stay there. And these two roommates were called as Joe, and they were called as Nathan. And they thought to themselves, like, what could we do? What if they offered their air mattresses and offered breakfast for these travelers who were coming to their city? And these particular people thought to themselves, like, isn't it just laughable? Isn't it just like extremely strange for complete strangers to come, book your stay in your houses, and you cook up breakfast with them and share it with them? They thought, like, what's the worst? Anyway, not able to pay the rent. So what's the worst that could happen? They could just make some money. Strangely, three travelers actually booked their stays, stayed in their houses, paid $80 for each of the stays, and they enjoyed the complete experiences. With the small success that they had, they thought to themselves, why not make it big? And that's when they got in a third founder for the company, made a small website, connected the hosts and the travelers across the different cities that they have. And they went on. To be honest, even the investors told them, this is really strange idea, it is never going to work. And even the people, the hosts, it was very difficult to convince them to enlist their properties. From the day one, it was not an easy road for them. And they thought to themselves like, it's a really good idea, it worked for them. Why is it not working for everybody else? Things did not go smoothly for them, and they just continued to explore and try to keep floating, try to make little bit money out of it. To be honest, the days were really hard because they could not even stay, to make little bit amount of money. Finally, the year 2011 changed for them because they got accepted to a startup accelerator program. They got mentored by a lot of mentors in the business areas, and the key learning that they had was get the trust of the people whom you want to connect with. Get the trust of the travelers, get the trust of the hosts. And that's when they hired a photographer, created some compelling images, tried to enlist them, tried to stay active, and they went on to grow from there. It was not an easy work even from there because they had to fight different countries, different regulations, different legal battles, different financial tax systems. Irrespective of different opportunities for them, they only saw a way to grow. And today, they're spread across 13,000 countries, they're spread across 30,000 cities and more than 200 countries, and today they're called Airbnb. Even you yourself would probably download the app sometime if you ran out of all the options on Make My Trips, on Clear Trips, and etc. It was a small, very strange idea, right, for them to rent out their air mattresses and offer to the travelers. And then they thought, who would have known it could have worked? It was just a risk they were willing to take. End of the day, it's just a matter of whether you want to work on a particular idea that you have and take that risk and make sure that you see success. Sometimes it's just super strange for yourself maybe, sometimes it could be strange for your friends, sometimes it could be strange even for your mentors, for your parents, but it's never about success or failure. So one such person who had a complete strange idea that was totally unconventional for its time was Latha. He started Toastmasters in the year 1924. He created a space, a comfortable, safe space for all the peers to learn and grow by practice. He wanted to create an educational platform for public speaking and leadership skills. And today, Toastmasters International is spread across 140 plus countries, and they have more than 270,000 members. So one such legacy club of Toastmasters International is Mekong, and we've been part of Toastmasters International for more than 25 years. So the entire Toastmasters meeting is broken down into 3 different aspects. The first session is the prepare speech session. The second session is the table topic special session, and the third session is the general evaluation session. So what happens with the benefit of the guests, I'm pretty sure there's nobody here, but still to refresh just your memories, the first session is a prepared speech where the particular prepared speaker comes here, prepares on a particular project work, gets mentored by his mentor, comes and delivers it. And the second one is a table topic session where the table topic master of the day gives a very impromptu topic for the members to work on their impromptu speaking skills. And thirdly, feedback is super important for anybody who is working towards growing and learning. So we have a general evaluator who comes here and gives us feedback for each of the role taker who takes a particular role on the stage. Please. So the first, now to proceed forward with the meeting, I would like to ask our particular role takers to share their roles and responsibilities. As I call out, please stand from where you are and share your roles and responsibilities. So the timer for our day is Toastmaster Chetan. Could you please share your roles?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. As your timer for today, I'll be tracking the prepared speech section and the table topic section, and finally the evaluations. Today there will be 2 speeches. The first one is a prepared speech, which will go on for 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll show the green card, 6 minutes the yellow card, and at 7 minutes the red card. The second one is a education session for 10 to 12 minutes. So I will show the green card at 8 minutes, the yellow card at 10 minutes, and the red card at 12 minutes. For each of the table topics, you have 1 to 2 minutes. So green at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2. And for each of the evaluations, I will show the green card at 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds the yellow card, and at 3 minutes the red card. and there is a time deterrent for 30 seconds after your speech. So please try to wrap up with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. And TP Evaluator for the day is Toastmaster Shreya. Would like to share your presentation.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the Parliamentary Procedures Evaluator for today, my job is to ensure the smooth proceedings of today's meetings. So, there are 4 ground rules that I request everyone to follow. The first one is please enter and exit the meeting room only during applause. The second one is please keep your phones on silent because if it rings in the middle or makes a sound, it will disturb the speaker. The third one is please refrain from speaking about topics like sex, religion, and politics. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. I would like to now call upon the hour counter of the day, Toastmaster Shubha. Would you please hold up the roll and respond?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the hour counter for today, I will be taking note of the crutch and filler words, which consist of and repeated words like you know so in today's meeting, and stay tuned for the report during the evaluation session.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubha. I would like to now call the Grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Saketh. Would you like to read your roles and responsibilities?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I'm the Grammarian for today's meeting. I'm also the guardian of the language, your local superhero. I'll make sure I pay close attention to all the speakers behind the lectern and note down all the good usages and not so good usages. And it is also my duty to tell the word of the week, which is explicit, which means stated clearly and in detail, leaving no room for confusion or doubt. The usage, the evaluator gave explicit feedback to help the speaker improve, and I'll give my report at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saketh. So let's quickly jump into the prepared speech session of the meeting. So before I call upon the prepared speaker, I would like to call upon the evaluator. So I would like to welcome Toastmaster Raja to read out the project guidelines.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. Notes for the evaluator: during the completion of the project, the member has spent time learning about and practicing their body language, including gestures and other non-verbal communication, along with their vocal variety, pace, tone, pitch, and volume. About this speech, the member will present a well-organized speech on any topic. Watch for their awareness on intentional and unintentional movement and body language. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any other style the member chooses. And I'll be giving the evaluation when called upon. All the best to the speaker. You are the only speaker today. So obviously you will get the best speaker award. So do it with confidence.
Thank you to the best evaluator for this meeting. Let's now call upon the only speaker we have for the day. He is an engineer by education and has experience in business development and partnerships. He is an avid reader. He loves training, he loves running, and he loves weight training especially. So let's put together with a huge round of applause Toastmaster Madhusudan on the stage, please. So completing his level 1 and project. Toastmaster Madhusudan, man versus wild. Man versus wild, Toastmaster Madhusudan.
As a kid, I was obsessed with Animal Planet, which sparked a lifelong fascination with animals. I would imagine dramatic situations involving me encountering animals like lions, tigers, crocodiles, bears, and more. Well, as life went on, some of these fantasies became a reality. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let's begin. Scene 1. I was 8 years old and visiting my aunt for summer vacation. Now, this was in Nagarbavi, which was a forest of sorts because it was so wooded rather than a housing complex. It included many different kinds of birds, insects, monkeys, and of course, dogs. One day, in my youthful mischief, I threw stones at a pack of dogs and ran away. Next day, while going on a walk with my brother, lo and behold, I see the same pack of dogs running straight towards us, all angry and barking. Now my brother screamed, "Madhu, Vodo!" and he ran off. Well, I was there, and next I started running. But instead of running away, I started running towards the dogs. Now, in a moment of panic, I bolted, and before the dogs could reach me, I took a quick turn, found a tree, climbed it just in time. Life saved successfully. Scene 2. Fast forward to when I'm 19 years old, and I'm trekking in Hutri Durga near Kunikal. It's an early morning, chill weather, and the sun just peeking out. The whole place was deserted except for me, my friends, and a few local boys. I trek, I get tired, so I decide to go sit at a rocky outcrop. Not noticing a strange sound near me. It went like this. I was too tired to care. And then one of the local boys screamed, "Anna, nimpakka how? Brother, there's a snake next to you." And in the next second, I don't know what I did, but I found myself 10 feet away, heart racing. Now, turns out it was a 2-foot long Russell's viper, one of the most venomous snakes that you could find in India, and a part of the big 4 snakes, which includes cobra, kraits, and saw-scaled vipers, responsible for 45,000 deaths each year. I don't know how, but I was safe. Life saved again. Scene 3. I'm 22 years old this time, and I'm at my maternal grandparents' house in Madhugiri. Now, for those of you who don't know, Madhugiri is a very dry, rocky, barren landscape where the major crop grown is groundnuts. A perfect setup for the next animal I was to encounter. It was a chilly November evening, and it was my uncle's duty to go back to the ground and collect the groundnuts, put them into a sack and bring them back home. And naturally, since I was there, I wanted to go along. So we got on a bike and we're going to the field, and it was already pitch black. We reached the field and we could see the heap of groundnuts. And I see something else. There's a large black mass on top of the heap of groundnuts. I couldn't make out what it was. And then my uncle turned back to me, and he breathed. Curly. Sloth bear. My heart was in my mouth. I froze. You see, sloth bears are one of the most fiercest animals a human can encounter in India. They're fearless, they have 4-inch long claws, and with one swipe, they can tear your face apart. I know this because I had seen too many videos of such, and I had also read too many articles. I thought, that's it. I'm 22 years old. Today I'm going to be minced meat. The newspaper is going to say, "Bangalore boy mauled to death by a sloth bear in Madhugiri." But my uncle, cool, calm and composed, he gave me some instructions. He said, Madhu, just do whatever I tell you. As soon as I say, start screaming. And I'll put the bike in neutral and I'll start revving it while also honking. And we went a bit close and we started doing that. Now I started screaming, "Ah!" But you know what? The bear got agitated and it actually came close, started walking towards us. Now my uncle said, just start jumping around and screaming even more. So I did this, "Ah!" And thankfully, this time around, the bear ran off. Life saved again. Scene 4. I'm 25 this time, visiting my favorite beach town, Gokarna. Now it is here where I realized that I was invincible on land, but not so much in the water. So, despite telling myself that day I wouldn't get into the water, as soon as I saw the main beach of Gokarna, I just went in. I couldn't resist the urge and I waded into it. Now, as I walked through the water, I felt something squishy underneath my foot. Now, the water was all muddy and I didn't know what exactly it was. Turns out, it was jellyfish. Now, jellyfish tentacles wrapped around my legs and panic set in. Now, I had to hop, skip, and jump back onto the mainland. And I realized I had been stung and I was in severe pain. You see, jellyfish aren't these cute and harmless animals as they're made out to be. They have very tiny pins on their tentacles which inject venom, and it's intolerable. Now, I was on land screaming while my friends didn't know what to do. So a local old man who was nearby, he came up to us. He's like, "What happened?" And we said, "What happened?" And then he said, "It's okay, it's not serious. The pain is there, but it's not serious. Nothing will happen to you. Just put cold water on it." And we followed his advice because we didn't have any options left. And luckily, his advice turned out to be true because in a couple of hours' time, the pain did subside. But the scars still remain, and somehow my life was saved again. So what have I learned from all this? Different experiences and different emotions. It's just that miracles do happen, and I'm grateful for these because I'm grateful for the experience and these majestic animals. As a kid, from watching them on TV and loving them to being in person without no barrier is a different feeling and sight to behold, and I'm glad I got the chance. Now, none of these animals attacked me with purpose. They just existed, as they always do. It was just me getting scared. Now, we share this planet with countless other creatures, each having a role to play. It's easy to forget that we as humans don't own this planet, we're just a small part of it. It's not man versus wild, it should be rather man with wild, because only together can we create a balance where both humans and animals can thrive together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhusudan. I must say it was very inspiring, rather indeed, for a person who gets very scared of all the animals out there. Thank you so much. And let's move on to our next special speaker for the day. He's a dynamic and accomplished individual whose impact resonates through various avenues, notably as a producer and host of the Galata podcast. Through this influential talks on the Galata podcast, Puneeth has emerged as a motivational prodigy, inspiring young minds to embark on their journeys early and make a significant mark in the world. The podcast, aptly named as Galata, meaning the noise caused by ruckus, features insightful interviews that delve into the intricacies of entrepreneurship, intricacies of team building, and the pursuit of creating value for others. So, with more than 65 plus episodes, he has interviewed notable figures such as Nikhil Kamath, Ankur Wariko, and Rohit Bhatt. His entrepreneurial prowess is evident in his previous ventures such as Saketh, a reliable and affordable clothing startup, and gained prominence on college campuses and even secured a presence in the IPL ecosystem. So, this particular special speaker for the day has marked by many accolades, entrepreneurial accomplishments, and a commitment to inspiring others to make some Galata. So, with huge amount of applause, let's welcome Toastmaster Puneeth Sharma on the stage to deliver his particular speech, A Century of Toastmasters Honoring Our Legacy. A Century of Toastmasters Honoring Our Legacy. Toastmaster Puneeth Sharma.
Well, I want you to imagine this. The club will meet at 6:30 for dinner with the president in charge. Business shall be conducted through the meal. At 7, the president will introduce the Toastmaster of the evening. There will be 5 speeches limited to 5 minutes each. These will be followed by comments from the Toastmaster, which will take about 35 minutes overall. At 7:35, there will be 10 minutes of open discussion in which any member may participate, with a time limit of 2 minutes. At 7:45, the comments of the critique will be heard for 10 minutes, and at 8 o'clock, the meeting will adjourn. This was the first manifesto of Toastmasters International in 1924. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I will be covering 3 parts of the Toastmasters International journey in the last centennial: the founding parts, the major milestone, and the modern growth Toastmasters movement has seen. But before that, let me do a quick round of quiz and see where we all are at. I gave you a lot of hints already. What was the general evaluator first called?
Critic.
Okay, good job. What's your name? Thanks, Subramanyam. What is table topic sessions called?
Discussion.
You're close.
Open house discussion.
Yeah, thank you. We all know Ralph C. Smedley. What does C stand for?
Chestnut.
Who's that? Oh, okay. 2 zeros. What's the name of the founding member of Nikon Toastmasters? Yeah, UK Sharma was part of Garden City Toastmasters Club, back then called Garden City Speakers Forum. What was the first name of Toastmasters magazine? It's very close to another form of Toastmasters clubs that happens in schools.
Gavel.
Yeah, it was called Gavel for the first 10 years. Good. So you guys are up to speed. I'm glad. Toastmasters as a movement celebrates October as the month of the anniversary month, and the 22nd, whenever in which a week you have 22nd, is celebrated as Founders Week. And the centennial one just happened recently, and so I decided why not go around clubs, compile everything I found in my TMOD research, and make this presentation happen. The first few years, the presiding officers were just 3. The committee. It was the president, the vice president, and the secretary treasurer. All 3 of them worked in conjunction with Ralph C. Smedley, who was the treasurer of YMCA. I hope all of you know YMCA by now is Young Men's Christian Association. And I can't tell you about the history of Toastmasters without telling you about Ralph C. Smedley. Toastmasters is like an extended shadow of Ralph C. Smedley. He was in charge of education at YMCA, and like Madhusudan, who had 4 respawns, we all think Toastmasters had 5 respawns. 5 times Ralph C. Smedley was moved across America. He started Toastmasters Club, they faded out, and after 24 years of struggle, he started Toastmasters and restarted Toastmasters in Santa Ana, California, and that has continued. That's partly true. What I found in my study is that Ralph C. Smedley would move from one YMCA to another for a very specific reason. He would be invited to YMCAs, almost pleaded, which were debt-ridden. And it was Ralph C. Smedley's role to come and set up an educational program and get the debt off of YMCA's books. And he would create programs, educational programs to engage the community, and the crown jewel of that was Toastmasters. Interestingly, what happened was, he did that for 3 YMCAs back to back. Took a 2-year break, learned architecture, and then built the Santa Ana, California YMCA. And then that's where we all hear about the October meeting that happened. Interestingly, who would have thought Toastmasters was a debt clearing initiative? And he explicitly did something that just made me respect him to a whole different level. If you see the early manifesto of Toastmasters, it says very explicitly that despite Toastmasters being such a good money-making machine, it says it's going to be a not-for-profit, non-commercial entity. And if anybody ever tries to make a profit off of it, all of it will move back to his estate or himself. And he did not profit from Toastmasters movement, despite serving officially for 50 years in the Toastmasters movement. And the idea was very unconventional. It really aligns with your theme, ladies and gentlemen. The idea was short speeches, 5 to 6 minutes, with criticism by the members and rotation of speakers and officers as frequently as possible. Now, why was this unconventional? Because during the wartime, the 1930s, 40s, oratory was the norm. You would dress fancily. It was a performance, it wasn't a speech. What Ralph C. Smedley saw as an opportunity was, how can a normal business person speak to maybe a lawyer, a group of other business folks, students, That was the unconventionality of it. In fact, he came up with a very interesting concept called amplified conversation, which was you're talking to an audience of many people as if you're talking to just one person. That was the concept of amplified conversation that he started off. An interesting offshoot of the debt clearing activities, the program initiatives that Ralph C. Snelly took, was that not only was Toastmasters or public speaking relevant to young Christian men, it was also extremely relevant to the seniors, the board members of YMCA, so it really engaged the community. And this led to something very interesting. Schools wanted Toastmasters clubs, hospitals wanted, federal institutes wanted Toastmasters club, but they did not meet the criteria. And so that led to something called as Gavel Toastmasters Club. In fact, Gavel, if you see every registration of Gavel, the charter, it will say sponsored by so-and-so Toastmasters Club as a way to recognize Gavel. Speechcraft was also another initiative that was started to increase the amount of engagement the members were having with the community. Contrary to popular understanding, there were 12-week-long speechcraft sessions for women also from the very early days. Women were very actively involved. I'll come to that in just a moment, but speechcraft was defined this way earlier days. A course prepared by Toastmasters for Toastmasters, hammered out on the anvil of experience. Just for trivia, there was not just a Toastmasters International, there was a Toastmistresses International as well. And the first all-women Toastmasters club was called Toasties. And all this was happening in the 40s and 50s. I don't know what led to the closing of Toastmasters women's only movement. But another quick trivia for all of you is, around 1950s, 1959, Toastmasters happened in India as well. The first Toastmasters club was in Mumbai. It was called Air India Toastmasters Club. And by 1960, there were 6 Toastmasters clubs in the country. But by 1980s, they all faded away. Until to date, where we have Garden City as the oldest surviving Toastmasters club, followed by Bangalore Toastmasters Club. In 1965, Ralph C. Snelly passed on. And in 1969 and 1970 is where DTM was introduced. An interesting anecdote was, until 1970, there were no tag team. There was really no manual. Ralph simply had been forced to start a small competent communicator manual and then an advanced communicator manual. That has now led to become pathways. But just for your information, it was just the theme. And that is what everyone prepared to speech around. In 1970, an interesting thing also happened. I told you women's movement stopped, but there was one very persistent person, woman, who wanted to be a part of Toastmasters Club. So she managed to get into the club and push the members to give her a membership seat. I don't know what went through the men, but they were accommodative of it, and they tried to register her name in the Toastmasters International as H. Blankard, H as the first name, which was rejected by Toastmasters International. So they did a table topic session subsequently to figure out what is an interesting H as a male sounding word that could be used as a name for the person. They came up with Homer Blankard, which sounded like a male name, and they got her registered as a man and gave her the membership. 3 years later, in 1970, during the coronation, when Toastmasters finally woke up to the idea of, hey, we need to include corporates as well, because that's the next growth avenue. And the only way to do that is to accommodate women. In the coronation, there was a scandal turned out that there was already a woman who was a member for 3 years. And to beat it all, she was the president of her club. It's crazy. So I'm talking about Helen Blanchard. In 1985, 15 years later, she became the first women international president of Toastmasters. So it's fascinating how women made their way back into the Toastmasters movement. Since then, there have been 3 back-to-back lady presidents in the Toastmasters movement. Moving forward, in 2004, we had a very bustling community of Toastmasters across the world. 2 lakh members, 10,000 clubs. And this is where, for the first time, Toastmasters had a website. If you've been old enough here, you know that laggy website that we had to navigate around. That was started in 2004. And in 2016, everything became digital and fancy. You had the Pathway movement introduced. And in 2018, for the first time, Toastmasters finally went back to the mother place, which was Colorado, where it was first started in 1904, where Ralston Smedley had started it in a really small, teeny tiny basement campus of a YMCA. It took almost 100 years to get back to the main motherland. In 2019, Toastmasters International collaborated with Rotary International, and here's where a very interesting trivia comes out. Ralston Smedley was not only a Toastmaster, he was a lifelong Rotarian. And if you see, when Toastmasters was registered, it was just supposed to be Toastmasters. There were only 5-6 clubs in America, but he had stolen the idea from Rotary International and added the word international. Little did you know that now there are more clubs outside America than in America. Currently, there are over 2,70,000 members, 150 countries across, and 14,000 clubs. Toastmasters survived 2 World Wars, 1 Cold War, bankruptcy of its own primary bank, COVID, pandemic, and continued to thrive through all of it. Well, to conclude, I would just read what Ralston Smedley had written in one of his final newsletters. Let us continue to be a movement rather than an organization or an institution. A movement headed with a definite direction, with a clear motive and destination, which employs tools and tactics as required to make progress towards the goal. So as we celebrate the centennial anniversary of Toastmasters, let us all recommit to the very unconventional idea that Ralston Smedley started. Amplify conversations within the club and beyond the club. Thank you, and back to Sindhushree.
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneeth, for amplifying our knowledge on Toastmasters International and Ralston Smedley. I must say, everybody here enjoyed the trivia and the information. Some here might have already known a lot of information, but all of the youngsters must have really loved to know this. So before we proceed forward with the session, I think we have a couple of guests. So I'll just ask them to introduce themselves from where you are and give like a small introduction about who you are, where you're from, and why you're here today.
I'm Saketh and I'm from Bangalore, and I'm studying in PS University currently in a 4th year of engineering, and I'm here from my family's point.
Thank you so much.
I'm Vaibhav Singhi. As you might know, this is my 3rd session. I work at my college, so I just joined this.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope to see you soon again. Join the club. So before we proceed forward with the next session, that is a table topic session. This is the most favorite session for everybody in the club. So to handle this session today, we have an industry specialist who has been part of the industry for more than 20 plus years and has experience across different industries. She has 10 plus experience in the event industry end to end. And she loves reading, she loves traveling, she loves cooking, and we all enjoyed having a conversation with her, and she is a force among us. So thank you so much for taking up the role. Please welcome Toastmaster Latha with a huge round of applause.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and esteemed guests. Whenever the table topic session is announced, everyone has this little butterflies in the stomach. Everyone prays, okay, it shouldn't be my turn, they shouldn't call my name. Because these butterflies keep running around in your stomach. But this time I would tell that let these butterflies come out of your mouth in the form of words behind the lectern and let them free. Let them very, very free so that they never come back into your stomach again. So I hope you guys all have a good session. And I would like to call upon my first speaker for the day. And the topic would be, what was the worst style choice you ever made? What was the worst style choice you ever made? And I would like to call upon DJ U Bhat for this particular topic. Worst style choice you ever made?
Madam Topic Master for the Toastmasters and welcome guests. I am a very traditional man. So question of choice of clothing and dress and all that is something alien to me. In fact, I am always surprised by these so-called fashion shows. Of course, I see it for different reasons, but whatever. But what I feel, there is no scope for what is happening there. If something is not very fashion or new trend is being created, and I have never seen a cloth which is exhibited by these models being worn by normal human beings anywhere in the world. I've never seen that. Those are only for that particular show. And all these models, some of them are become millionaires, even billionaires, I understand, just by being model. And I don't even know what their talents are, honestly. Because my only thing is, what I observed, the only talent they have is your show expression as the whole world is falling on their head. With a so very serious, somber expression on their face. And an ability to walk as awkwardly as possible. One leg like this, another like this, another like this, another like this. And this is the kind of fashion that is going on. But beauty of it is, as fashion which has been, for example, if somebody had born in my childhood, because of my circumstances, I had to wear torn clothes for whatever reason, because I could afford that. I was forced to. Now it's the fashion. More the holes in the pant, more expensive it is. Now I don't succumb to that kind of fashion, and in fact, I am very comfortable with whatever I have. I wear that, make it as comfortable as possible. Don't fall into this fashion trap, and ultimately what's important is be comfortable with whatever you wear, and don't just follow the crowd just because some crazy model is doing this. Back to
We started on a very funny high note, wherein Vijay Upendra said a very important thing, that be in your own comfort zone and wear what you feel comfortable with. Moving to the next topic. Most funniest or most intelligent person in the room. Most funniest or most intelligent person in the room, and why? The next speaker whoever comes, he needs to say that whether he would like to be the most funniest in the room or the most intelligent, and why. For this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Vijay Upendra.
Madam Topic Master, good evening Toastmasters and welcome guests. The most funniest person as well as the intelligent I see in this group, Toastmasters, is our president. Whenever I interact with him, he gives me back the answers in such a way that I need to use my intelligence. Whether I am intelligent or not, that's a different question altogether. He makes me to use my brain. See, that is the one thing. Second thing is, when I interact with him personally, one-on-one, he gives some inputs in such a way that internally I enjoy that. These two qualities I have seen in our president. Because of that, these two different qualities, whenever he comes behind the lectern, he handles himself very beautifully. He delivers things in a different manner which normally I expect. This really makes me to think that I should have been a 20 or 30-year-old guy at this point in time, so that I would have got those type of qualitative development within myself. Today, I am more of a logical person than intelligent person. So this is one of the most important qualities I found in Shivaprasad Sharma. Back to you, madam.
There are a lot of other qualities also we would like to talk about our president, but in some other table topic session we have a different topic coming over there. Now, the next question or the next table topic would be, what useless facts do you know? They usually talk about what useful facts you know, but I would like to ask the next speaker, what useless facts do you know? And for this particular topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Topics master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So once in a while I come across with very weird facts on Google. It says Google is dropping from number 1 search to number 10. What am I supposed to do with that information? I still Google, I still get the fact from Google. And I keep reading about public speaking once in a while, and they say public speaking is the world's number 1 fear that people face. Okay, so am I facing my fear, or what am I doing here? I don't know, sometimes it just, so I sometimes read about gadgets and they say comparing an Apple iPhone to another brand is comparing apples to oranges. That's a fact you should know. Thank you for that information, Google. Then the other facts that I read about is today is a very sunny day. Don't forget to carry your umbrella. I wonder if it's sunny, why am I supposed to carry an umbrella? I mean, it's fine. Then very useless facts. They say you should always do weightlifting, then do cardio. Where do I have energy after I do weightlifting? Then they say you should always have your meals with 4 hours of gap. I'm like, sometimes I don't have time to have meals, only where can I have 4 hours to get 2 meals in between them? So, another few facts is you should always, man, it's so tricky. Facts are hard. You know, the more you read, it's more you know, but when you're asked to collate a lot of weird facts, I think it gets really difficult. But you know, most of you do have weird facts with you, and every time you come across them, I'm sure you will assume and you think, what am I supposed to do with this fact? But end of the day, it does make you smile a little for knowing that piece of information, and that's what makes it a fact. Next time you see a fact, keep it with you, and it can be useful in a situation like this.
I know I made it a little difficult for a Toastmaster side, but we all loved it the way you gave it the answer to it. Now the next topic, what breed of a dog would you be and why? What breed of a dog would you love to be and why? And for this, I would like to call upon our Toastmaster Saketh.
What type of breed of dog I would
You
be?
want to be and why?
I'm not really into pets, so don't get offensive. Sometimes I don't take care of myself, so taking care of the pet itself would be a big hassle. And if I were to be a dog, I think I would be a golden retriever. I just go play around, have some fun, have some good sleep, have food, and annoy the living crap of everyone. And yeah, live life to the fullest. So as a dog breed, I would be that. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay, so he just wants to have fun being a dog. Good choice. And now the next table topic. Describe yourself in terms of food. Describe yourself in terms of food. And for this, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Chetan.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I have a very unusual kitchen at home. We get stuff from everywhere, but after we're done with it, I kind of leave it over for the next day. And then combine that with what I'm going to make the next day. I'll give you an instance. Chitran, yeah, that's too normal. So like, my wife was heating the milk in the morning, but unfortunately we dropped some lemon inside and it got spoiled. So now, we made it into paneer, but that's too normal too. So I was just thinking, okay, what can I do with this? And I saw rasgulla. Right, anyone can make a rasgulla, it's basically paneer and sugar syrup. But what if we could substitute the sugar syrup with something more interesting? like every juice is essentially a sugar set, isn't it? So there, lo and behold, I had tomato rasgulla, tomato juice rasgulla for breakfast yesterday morning, and it was brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I urge every one of you to go ahead and give it a shot. It is just tomato juice in rasgulla, and that is exactly what I am as a person as well. Trying unusual things, doing unusual things just for fun. And everything, everything I try is kind of like this. Be it food, be it exercise, be it Toastmasters, whatever it is, just have fun doing it. And yeah, that's it.
So today we get a new recipe that is tomato rasgulla, and looking at everyone's face, I don't think it's going to try it. Okay, moving to our next topic. Do you think ignorance is bliss? Do you think ignorance is bliss, and why? For this topic, I would like to call upon D Team K Prabhakara.
Good updated topic, master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Ignorance is bliss. If you think so, fine. But I don't believe it's a bliss. Ignorance causes many problems, and it is not. If you think it is not a bliss if it's painful. Like our Madhusudan said that 4 times he went in front of Gilga just because he liked Animal Planet and had knowledge, and but still real life situations experience is different, and that knowledge itself that substituted cannot substitute experience. That is ignorance, and it cannot be bliss. One such example, obviously. So when you have knowledge, you have confidence, the courage to face the eventuality. It is not that every area of life you have that kind of knowledge, but you know where to go to. That's why there are 2 kinds of knowledge that any person has. One, you know from within, you have been educated, and one other is where to get from. That is library, today it's Google or Wikipedia or whatever. So ignorance is bliss is fine. If you want to, any dead clock also shows time twice a day correctly. But if you want to be alive and kicking, be part of the society which is really making things happen in this world, ignorance is not bliss. It is, in fact, a kind of, you are some kind of a mentally challenged person nowadays. So make sure this is not used everywhere and applied everywhere. Over to Madam Toastmaster.
In other words, you would agree ignorance is a kind of an escape in what we do to face the reality. Now moving on to the next table topic. Who is the most funniest person in your family and why? Who is the most funniest person in your family and why? And for this table topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shubha.
When I think of a funny person, I can only think of my dad. Just the way he narrates stories is extremely funny. So recently, he had heard from another friend that he had gone through surgery, and post-surgery he had to be in the ICU. While of course it's a serious scene, he told him the story of how in the ICU he had to urinate, but they wouldn't allow him to go to the bathroom. So he had to urinate sleeping into a can. And this was hilarious. I mean, this wasn't as hilarious when I heard it the second time from my dad. So yeah, generally the way he looks at things is very different. Trying to think of one joke, but it's just not coming right now. possibly like the urine while you're sitting. But yeah, thanks.
No, she wanted to speak, just narrate the comedy scene, but that didn't come up there. That's okay. Next time we can try it out. Who is the laziest person in the world according to you? Who is the most laziest person in the world according to you? And for this final topic of the table topics, I would like to call upon DJ Udanka.
Thank you for the topics. Who's the laziest person I have ever known is I have a friend who is my apparently was my classmate in not my classmate, my batchmate in PU, and turned out to be my classmate in engineering. And I've seen him as the laziest person I have so far met, because whenever we have told him to finish an assignment or anything, he used to just Google it and do it. And the worst part is, like, during COVID, all the assignments, since we did not have colleges and we did not have internal exams, they just told us one thing: finish your assignment and give it to us. Send a PDF order. Like, okay, fine. This particular guy, as we all know, COVID was the place where we never studied or we just Googled, we got the answers, and we used to share it on the our group, WhatsApp group, to write the answers and submit. And there was another person who was too intelligent enough. He wrote everything on the book. He scanned it and sent it to us for our reference. Because we, being the last benchers, we used to do it just the night before the deadline. This particular friend of mine used to change the PDF name to his name and submit the same PDF in a different version. He used to split the PDF, attach the second question to first question, and finish it, and done. Teachers would never get to know. And apparently they say they did not get to know, but it was clear that it was the handwriting is same and everything. It went to such an extent that he did almost the same in exam. 5-mark question. He just did one thing. He had followed the videos, how they work. 5-mark exam, we are expected to write at least a page answer. He just did one thing. He wrote an one-line answer, but an increased font. His one entire page consists of 10 to 12 words. That's it. And he got 4 marks out of 5 marks. We actually, on behalf of him, we wanted to see how we got the marks. So we paid for VTU to send the photocopy, and he actually has written only the definition, not the explanation of that particular procedure, and he has got 4 marks out of 5 just because it had filled 2 different papers. Wow. So that's lazy he was, and he was lucky enough. So he worked out, and yeah, lucky
I hope all the engineers who are from VTU watching this video from DJ Udanka, that's going to be helpful to them. So on this note, I hope you guys all enjoy the table topic session. Some learning, some fun, a good time. And as I would like to tell, let not the butterflies grow in your stomach. Always try me when a table topic master comes in lectern, tell them that I want to come behind the lectern and do an improv speech. So on this note, I would like to hand over the charge back to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latha. It was such a wonderful session. I'm sure all of you enjoyed answering to particular table topics and enjoyed some of the quirky choices. Please give a try to the special tomato ketchup rasgulla, special mention. And quickly, let's take a small networking break and be back in the next 10 minutes. Thank you, everyone. Please refrain from talking to the person next to you. So let's get started with the session again. So I hope you all had a refreshing break, enjoyed the buffet ridings again, and the juice again. Let's hope we get good snacks from next week. So moving forward to the session, as I was talking about the unconventional ideas, and you heard a very refreshing story about the Russian Smedley journey and the prepared speech on man versus wife from Madhusudan, then an amazing table topic session where we got some really quirky ideas from all our table topic speakers. So, end of the day, when you talk about unconventional ideas, always speak about the success stories, right? All we shared about was FedEx, the wristwatches, the Airbnbs. But there are a lot of them which failed. For example, Tata Nano in India. Or, for example, demonetization in India. Or, for example, I think we can do this all in the break. Or, like, I'll give you quickly 2 minutes to pass around the chips and speak whatever you want to speak. Are we good?
Yes.
No more chips to be passed? Good, thank you so much. So it's not just about the success stories that you would like to know more, but it's also the failures that you need to know. So end of the day, why is that I am encouraging you to have one idea, to think outside of the box? It is because when something is working, it's not because it's perfect. When somebody comes and tells you, Sindhu, everything is working perfectly fine, why do you want to do something new? Or sometimes I tell you, Shreya, you do everything the same in SAA, what do you want to try something new? So, or for example, Saketh, why do you get same snacks every week? Why do you want to try something new? It's just because it's working, it doesn't mean it's perfect. It's not the final way of doing things. Once in a while, question yourself. Once in a while, break out those barriers. You don't have to do it in an exceptional way and build a multi-dollar business, but just do it for yourself so that you see changes in yourself. So this is the whole point of having a conventional idea, because when we had green revolution in India, it gave self-sustaining food production for the entire country. Or when Gandhi initiated non-resistance movement, this was a new way of bringing freedom to the country. Or when there was the Wright brothers who invented the mode of flying, it was a new way of transportation. So it's these examples which encourages and inspires you, and this is exactly why you should keep thriving even though you don't see success for now, but just keep challenging yourself. So to proceed forward with this session, I would like to welcome to the general evaluation session. So the general evaluator today, he is he's completed his BE Mechanical Engineering from UVCE, and he's done his MTech from MAHE, and he's a distinguished leader in District 121 who was a past club road director for District 121 Toastmasters International. Along with it, he's chaired a lot of different roles in the district, and along with that, he's been part of a club from a long, long time. Please welcome DTM Subramanyam sir with a huge round of applause, please.
Thank you for that very conventional introduction to another conventional Toastmasters. Today, all the speakers and role takers spoke about different unconventional ideas which all of us enjoying the fruits of, and which made the world better place. So having heard all those unconventional ideas and very interesting stories about unconventional ideas, today my general evaluation will be very conventional one with typical evaluation. So to start with, I would like to invite Toastmaster Raja to share his speech evaluation for Toastmaster Madhusudan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
At the starting, I said today he is the best speaker. And Madhu had one job. Speak within 7 minutes 30 seconds. But I request our president to not consider that and then add him in the ballot and give him the best speaker award. So let me get into the evaluation. First point, what he did well. Today I saw a different Madhusudan. His body language was like really great. He walked around, his hands was expressive. This was like next level. So I feel that this particular project has improved you as a speaker in terms of body language and voice modulation, because I've never seen you doing this body language or also this voice modulation. Usually you come here, you have like you will stand here and then you will talk to people, but today I saw a different Madhusudan, which is great. You'll be keep growing as a speaker. Because when you are sitting on the rock, or you are facing a bear or jumping on water, you did all those actions and movements, which was nice. And your character voice modulations was also fantastic when you are characterizing your friend who said Madhu Vodu, or a local boy screaming, or your uncle's voice. All of that, you kind of changed your voice modulation, and what it made was like so that we were also engaged in that particular story. So that was also done very well. And a part of body language is eye contact, and you had good eye contact with the audience and they were engaged as well. So in terms of this project requirement, you completely successfully completed this particular project with the voice modulation and body language. The areas that you can improve upon, right? So you're from here, you have come to the next level, right? So how you can take it further? The first one is when you're doing a body language, how you can do the body language in sync with the story. You can think about that. For example, you are doing an action. There is a bear, right? I sat on the bike and I was going, and we saw the bear, right? Now what you're doing over here is you're establishing that there is a bear there, right? Now you need to make those body language. I know you're facing it over here, but you can tell what you want, whatever you want to say to the audience, and again you can establish over there. And then I was screaming over here. So how you can make it in sync with the story? There were times where there was a free flow of your body language. Instead of that, how you can make your body language sync with the story. So that is one thing. And the next one is voice modulation. So throughout your speech, let's say for example you have a level. Let's keep it as level 8. And there are times you went level 10. Yeah, I'm gonna go about time. No competition. So there were times where you went level 10, right? Like where you were screaming, but you missed an opportunity to go low. The low key was not touched. Why low key is important? Because that is where you can connect with the audience emotionally. Because your speech has an important message of man and animal can thrive together, right? So instead of saying that, like how you can go, or you say grateful for the experience, and this is where a man and animal can thrive together. So you go low so that you bring that emotion, whatever you want to bring. So that was not touched. So it was 8 and 10. What about 5 and 4? You want to bring that down. Overall, it was a fantastic speech with great body language and voice clarity. All the best to your next speeches. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja, for such an insightful evaluation. What I liked about your evaluation is that you did justice to the good points what he had in his speech, as well as some of the specific feedback which will help him to improve his speech and delivering it. Adding to your evaluation, one point what I really liked about your speech is that you showed with example that every movement in your speech should be purposeful and in sync. And for that I would like to thank, and can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Raja and Toastmaster Madhusudan. Next, I would like to invite the role takers from TAPG, starting with timer Chetan.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Here is the final timing report for today. Meeting started off at 6:19 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Shreya Rao took 3 minutes. Our President Toastmaster Shivaprasad took 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Secretary Toastmaster Latha spoke for 1 minute and 50 seconds. First speaker, Toastmaster Madhusudan, spoke for 8 minutes and 11 seconds. The second speaker, Puneeth spoke for 12 minutes and 18 seconds. Our table topics master Latha has taken 5 minutes and 41 seconds between for all the transitions basically, and each of the speakers have been listed there. And Toastmasters Sindhushree, I'm still trying to calculate the final total, but I would say it's around 13 minutes. So,
thank you, Toastmaster Chetan. Can we have Toastmaster Shubha to say their account report?
the counter for today, I think my job was very easy because I actually could listen to the speeches and there were minimal pauses or repeated words and only a few R's and ums here and there. So here is the report. The Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Shreya had 3 R's. The President, Toastmaster Shiva had 1 R. Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Sindhushree had 1 R and 1 Toastmaster Chetan, Timer had 1 the R counter myself, 1 R and I think 2 R's till now. One more. Speaker, Toastmaster Madhusudan was flawless. Evaluator, Toastmaster Raja, 2 R's. The guest speaker, flawless. Toastmaster Puneeth. And coming to the table topics, only the table topic master, Toastmaster Latha, had 1 R, and the last speaker, Toastmaster Udanka, had 1 R. Everyone else was flawless. And the general evaluator has 1 R till now. And congratulations to everyone who were flawless today. That's it for my report. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite the guardian of the language for this meeting, Saketh.
So, as the guardian of the language and the grammarian for today's role, here's my explicit report. Coming to the not so good usages, me and my friend, in the context, it could have been as my friends and I. Back to the land, back on the land. Honoring a legacy, it's honoring a legacy, that's just silent. And it's not Mekon Toastmasters, it's Mekon Toastmasters. I feel someone mispronounced it. Coming to the good usages, metaphorical terms, explore the world, opportunities to grow, ears to learn and grow, guardians of the language, dramatic situation, youthful mischief, pack of dogs, minced meat, respawned, ratio of the norm, amplifying the conversations, butterfly in the stomachs, tomato juice and rasgulla, man and animal can thrive together. And coming to the word of the week and the members who used, it was our guest Toastmaster Puneeth and myself. Thank you.
There goes self-appointed guardian of Toastmasters. I hope that all of us have got ample opportunities to learn how to be a better communicator using good English language, as well as to use the R's and filler words correctly and suitably, so that we can be better speakers going forward, and how we can how we can be mindful of the time what we have taken so far. So with that, I would like to invite Toastmaster Shreya to share the PP report.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today was a very smooth meeting. One thing we can overlook is that someone entered when it wasn't during the applause, but that was a guest, so that's fine. One more thing to note is please don't use words like crap and other profanities. It's okay outside, but this is more of a professional setting, so I feel that it is better not to use such words. But yeah, today was a very smooth meeting. Thank you, and back to the judges.
With that, we have had reports from TAPG team as well as Parliamentary Procedure Evaluator. Can we have a big round of applause for all the 4 holders? Starting with my own evaluation for the entire meeting. We had a very short and sweet business session for less than 3 minutes with announcement about the 2 speech roles. What I really liked about today's meeting is that both the essay and also the president had very interesting stories to share about unconventional ideas, and I really like the fact that while essay had her own story to share about unconventional idea, she linked the same thing to introduce the president as well. I think that is one of the most innovative way the president has ever been introduced. The most unconventional person which you have met or you have seen. I really like that. For that, kudos to our essay Toastmaster Shreya. About our president Toastmaster Shivaprasad, he shared another very interesting unconventional story about how FedEx happened and how the promoter gambled away his $5,000 to make it $27,000 when he was in dire straits. I think Toastmasters is one such platform wherein we get to hear stories from different domains or different backgrounds or different circumstances. I think that's what makes it more interesting and helpful, that while sharing our stories, we communicate our ideas and we share our messages. I think that's the most, I would say that's the best way of making across your point. For that, I would like to commend our President Toastmaster Shivaprasad, and can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Shivaprasad? Regarding the Toastmaster today, I would like to reserve my evaluation towards the end, while I continue to share my evaluation for the other role takers. With respect to the speaker 1 and the speech evaluator 1, I have already shared my evaluation. With respect to the second speaker, Toastmaster Puneeth, I think all of us would agree with me if I say that it was a wonderful tribute to the Toastmaster International when we have an occasion when the entire Toastmaster community is celebrating the 100th anniversary. And I think one way, the best way what I can shortlist, or maybe how I felt, is that anyone who's taking the role of the Toastmaster today, next time in the next meeting, I think they would have got a lot of trivia to share, and a very nice way of doing your own research all these years and sharing all those trivia, while also making it very engaging and also very informative. So I would like to thank you and congratulate you for sharing all that information. And most of us were not aware of some of the information which you shared, and now we become more wiser with that information. We were not aware exactly why some of the things which are done in the way they are done in Toastmasters, what was the reason for that. Now we know. Thank you very much for that. Can we have a big round of applause for Toastmasters?
You want to write feedback for me as well. This is something that only your club does, and I'd love to take some suggestions and feedbacks back.
So since Puneeth has asked us for feedback for himself, I would like to request all the members present here to give feedback for all the role takers, and also please make a selection for best role taker or best speaker whom you feel as per your experience today. So with that, we have 2 more role takers left for today's evaluation. I would like to congratulate and thank Toastmaster Latha for such a wonderful choice of table topics, very much relevant to the today's theme. And all the 8 table topics which you had chosen were very apt, and they elicited very interesting point of view or stories from all the speakers. except one or two. And that is what the best thing I like about table topics. No matter whatever is the table topic, we get to hear some of the interesting and very colorful stories from the table topic speakers about the way they perceive the topic, the way they understand the topic, and how they interpret the topic. It doesn't matter whether someone has not experience, but it's the way you interpret it and you try the table topic, that's what matters. For that, I would like to commend and congratulate both the table topics master as well as all the 8 table topic speakers. Can we have a big round of applause for all the speakers? With that, last but not the least, Toastmaster today. Toastmaster of today is that one person who connects all the different roles, like how all the pearls is connected by a thread to make a wonderful necklace. So she has held the meeting in place with her own interpretation of the theme, and as we had our SIA as well as president, she also had wonderful tidbits to share about unconventional ideas, no matter whether they are successful or unsuccessful. I think it's very much interesting, and it is very much must to know about different unconventional ideas. And when we hear about one idea or the other, I think it brings a spark in our mind, and we can also think of some unconventional ideas. As they say, sometimes you never know when unconventional idea comes and they become very good inventions which have made world a better place. I want all of us to join and commend Toastmaster Sindhushree for such a wonderful performance in the Toastmaster Day. Today we had the agenda in place wherein the time to end this meeting was at 8:15. So we still have 10 more minutes. So I would not like to go further away, and I would like to complete my evaluation and hand it over to Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Sindhushree.
Thank you so much, Subramanyam sir, for such an amazing session, and I hope everybody received a valuable feedback to carry back with them and keep learning and to keep growing. So to come to the end of the session, on the day when we have ended the meeting quite earlier, I would not like to take more time, and I would like to welcome the President back quickly. Please welcome Toastmaster Shivaprasad with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sindhushree, for coming in and hosting such an unconventional meeting with that wonderful story that you brought in. Thank you to Toastmaster Latha for that interesting table topic session. It turned out to be extremely hilarious today. And of course, our General Evaluator, DTM Subramanyam, for keeping it short and sweet as he always does. And overall, I thoroughly enjoyed our meeting today. And especially I have to thank our guest speaker, Toastmaster Puneeth, for coming in and just giving us a bit of sort of a refresher course about Toastmasters, or something that we actually didn't know about Toastmasters. And you realize that you are part of something much bigger than just what is there in this room. And it almost warms your heart when you come to know about that. So thank you so much for coming in. I think we can applaud for him one more time. And with that, I think we can get to the winners of today's meeting. I've received 13 responses. Couple more responses are required. I think we'll get the easier ones out of the way first. Let's start off with the best evaluator for today. both our best speaker and best evaluator today have taken the liberty to exceed the time, but as it goes, they are the only ones today. So our best evaluator for today, Toastmaster Raj. Great job.
Demolish the competition.
And the best speaker for today, and this is not just because he was the only speaker today, the speech itself was amazingly done. So our best speaker for today, Toastmaster Madhusudan.
You were wild there.
One of the best table topic speaker for today. Of course, yes. So I haven't really watched a lot of beauty pageants, but I do know that they go to and fro there, right? But this man here, he has been going to and fro for 26 years just to receive ribbons in our meetings. The best table topic speaker for today, distinguished Toastmaster. Thank you. Best role taker, MTG. Tough competition here, but that we do have a clear winner. Goes to our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sindhushree. And our best role taker, TAPG. The guardian of the English language is our best role taker, TAPG.
Goldie boy.
Congratulations to all the winners, and I'd just like to say a couple of lines about the theme today, which is an unconventional idea, because we are still 5 minutes before. I still remember distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara telling me a story long back about a group of boys who started a company, and he attributed this to a part of the world that encouraged free thinking, that encouraged entrepreneurship or going unconventional, that you don't have to follow the hierarchy, etc. And that is where you see growth coming from, that is where you see new technology emerging from, people doing amazing things from, versus the other part of the world where people are taught to walk in a straight line, things are not going to work out. So with reference to the theme today, I think we can keep that in mind as well. The unconventional ideas that you have, put them out there. Or maybe it's for yourself, maybe it's for business, maybe it's for our Toastmasters club. And it might just benefit us, because we definitely do that. We definitely in Toastmasters encourage free thinking and encourage you to come up with solutions for the problems that we face. So with that, conclude this wonderful meeting. Close meeting number 1290.